good afternoon to everyone present here. I am Mahi. Hello and welcome to today's session. I'm your host and speaker for today's interview preparation workshops 8 session, that is group discussion mock. Thank you for joining us today as we discuss how to prepare for GD. Before starting the session, I would like to take a couple of minutes to tell you all about Aspire. So, Aspire is a one stop solution for aspirants of various professional qualifications. We cater to aspirants of seven courses, which are CA, CFA, CS, CMA, CPA, FRM, and ACCA. Aspire provides helps to aspirants in two ways. That is, number one is information, and number two includes services. So, information on our website is curated in a way that helps students in preparing in a holistic manner, from eligibility criteria to the future opportunities available, and the teachers to be selected, the revision links from YouTube that can be referred to study, and the mock papers that can be attempted are all available on our website. We have numerous blogs which help and provide guidance in your study planning as well as in planning for revisions. Our websites, now talking about the services, our services include one-on-one mentorship, webinar, and workshop programs. One-on-one mentorships include a team of 40 plus members who have passed the same journey as yours, with flying colors. And our minimal charges on one mentorship ensure that we provide guidance, whether it is related to which career is best for you, or how you should proceed with your course or studies, or how to deal with failure and disappointments and how to overcome them. Our webinar and workshop programs include various webinars on key topics which are free of cost. Our workshops, like the interview combo workshop, happen periodically and are there to bridge the gap of knowledge and information. Our YouTube channel has all these webinars and workshops recorded and uploaded in case you miss them. As well as, we'll be starting our podcast in the month of March, wherein you'll get the speakers, you'll get various speakers who are there to talk about their journey and struggles they came across and how they overcame each one of them to be successful. You can visit our website to know more about us. Now, speaking about today's group discussion, this is the eighth session of our series of 9 sessions where where we will be preparing you in a wholesome manner to articleship interviews. The webinars are free of cost and they are conducted on Saturdays and Sundays at 12 o'clock. To stay updated, you can join us with the registration links that are available, and you can also join our WhatsApp group. um, Now, you can also, like, the webinars are available, but and they're, of course, they're free of cost, but you can also available our after services, which includes CV reviewing, LinkedIn reviewing, access to our ebooks, which have a plethora of questions, from frequently asked HR questions, audit questions, tax questions, as well as their answers, along with what to study and how to study for interviews. We will also try to get you help and referrals in big six firms. Along with this, our vast after services. We also provide certificate of participation, which will be given to those who avail our paid workshop, which is just for rupees 500. To avail the same, you can drop in a message or you can fill the form. Now, to ensure that we are assisting you the best we can on the topic, we hold a doubt session also to answer your questions. Feel free to ask anything about the topic or share your problems and experiences. We'll respond to your questions by end of each guest session. I will be reading out your questions so that I can respond to them at the end of the presentation. So, without any further delay, let me present you to the speakers for the session. That is, our today's speakers include Radhika Gattani and our second speaker for today, that is Nishika Gupta. Now introducing you to Radhika. She is qualified as CIA Plus from Institute of Computer Accountants. Currently, she is a CA finalist and doing her articleship in Saurav Toshnewal and Associates. Working in a mid-sized firm, she has gained knowledge in all the three major fields, which include direct taxation, indirect taxation, and assurance audit. Going beyond academics, she is serving as secretary in Leo Club of Jorhat Heritage. She was former additional PRO in the same organization. As a CA student, she was the cultural coordinator in the Eastern India Chartered Accountants Students Association, Guwahati. She has also served as joint secretary in JCI Jorhat Metro. With mentoring sessions, she has served almost 2 years as a mentor in Aspire. She has also been a paper presenter at Ahmedabad National Student Conference recently. She has inculcated the qualities of leadership, management, accountability, and responsibility throughout the journey as a student, and firmly believes that there is a lot to achieve. Now, our second speaker for today is Nishika Gupta. I think she does not need any introduction. She's the founder of this organization and the backbone of Aspire. So, without any further delay, I would request our speakers to take over.
Hi, Mahi. Thanks for the introduction.
Okay, thank you so much, Mahi, for introducing me. It would be glad if I turn on my camera, but I'm not very sure why isn't working. So yeah, let's start with today's session. It's about group discussion. So if I ask you all that why group discussions are important for us, like for students. So the first thing that comes up to my mind is something when we go for when we go for an interview for say. So what we guys do is the people in the HR, they shortlist your resume firstly, and then out of like 15 to 20 people, they only tend to select 2 to 3 people. So what I believe is group discussions comes into the picture where we start our career in a corporate world. So yeah, Nishika, I guess group discussions majorly are comes into picture in a student's life, if I say, when we step up in corporates.
I mean, apart from the fact that they are a part of our selection process in some of the firms, group discussion gives us a lot of confidence to maybe, talk in a group, in front of people. And since we are right now getting assessed for how we are speaking, that sets us a tone, like it gives us a start so that in later life, we are confident enough to speak in front of at least 5 people and put forward our point of views.
Definitely,
So
Nishika.
GDs are not just important in case of just that interview preparation or like getting selected by a firm, but it's a, I would say, a necessary soft skill.
Yeah, that's a major add-on, I guess. Currently, we are also having a GD, Nishika, you and I.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, the group discussion is majorly like in the slide we have as an indicator of the confidence. Nishika already added to this, and working ability in a group. Like what HRs, yeah, definitely the one who are listening to you, what they tend to see is how you work in a group. Like being a leader and pushing your team from backward is something HR wants. And surely the people who are analyzing your skills, they are the ones who will be judging you, not judging you exactly, but analyzing you, that how you are able to do works in a group. So yeah, it is carried out in a semicircle. A topic is given definitely, and a minute is given for you all to prepare. Yeah, you to think like how to start a GD, or how to carry out, like what will be your points to keep up. And the duration depends, last for 10 to 12 minutes for sure. And the size may be of 15 people, or it depends upon the one who are conducting. So yeah, GD is basically to build up your confidence for sure.
Definitely. And also, I mean, if you're talking about the point of view of your interviewer or the panel who's there in a GD, so of course, everyone knows this that now we have like two sorts of GDs. One could be our online, one could be our offline. And later on in the session, we'll also discuss about the etiquettes that one should follow in both kind of GDs. But if you're talking about like the point of view of a panelist, they are not trying to only see if you know content, but they also want to see like if you are someone who can conduct themselves in front of others, right? So no matter what kind of an interview you're giving, or what kind of if you're applying for a college, or if you're applying for a firm, they are looking for a leader, right? Everyone wants someone who can take an initiative. So in a GD, they are assessing, there are like three things that they're assessing. First is your confidence, definitely. Second is your conduct, how you're conducting yourself in front of people, when you're talking to people, how polite you are, how dominating you are. And third is content. So it can't be like, you just can't speak words without them having any basis or any fact. So your content is also judged. So in a GD, when it's been conducted, there are three things, and you should always try to hit a balance and hit an equilibrium when you're conducting yourself. We can go to the next slide.
Before starting a GD, one should keep in mind like how to initiate, because you have points there. The interview or the panelist has already said they keep a track record of what you are saying and what you mean exactly. So the thing is, when you start a GD, just go with something like, you can have a code there and start, and you can initiate a group discussion that would add a major points to your analyzing part. So the panelists tend to see that who are the ones who come in front and speak first. Like everybody is going to speak, but the thing is, who speaks first? That's the major thing. So yeah, you can initiate a group discussion by uh, relating a quote or a real life example, or the thing, a fact about it. And this would add something, something great, and it would grab the attention of the speakers as well. So once your 1 minute time is over to think about the, like, how would you would start, just prepare in that 1 minute that what you are going to exactly say when you start the conversation. It should not be like the thing that that doesn't have any basis to it. So just add something valuable to it, and just start the discussion like, we can have an example, say the reason for this, or a great man once said this, or a quote with your life, something, a real life thing happened. So yeah, you can start with this. And definitely the do's that are here is listen to other participants. That is, the people, the panelists tend to analyze you, that how a good listener you are. What others are speaking, you should listen to that as well. And maintaining an eye contact with the group is also important. Like, this will show your confidence level. If you are maintaining eye contact with each and every member, so this will add something that that would definitely build your confidence up. And you should acknowledge as well. If someone is saying someone, you should acknowledge the thing by giving a positive affirmations, like, I would agree to what he said. And mentioning the names of the people are also very important when it comes to GDs. So yeah, you can add to the phrases, like you can add to someone's saying by, I second that, very well said, or something that that's a very good point, but I would like to add on. So these are the things that are acknowledged in GDs. So yeah, give others time to speak as well, because it's not the thing that you are only going to speak, you are only going to initiate. And because GDs are something that you should read the mind of every other participant. And there should be politeness for sure. You must be humble while you respond to others question or others viewpoint. So since this is a conversation, so you should not disagree with by arguing very what do you say, ekdam jhagda wala part, you don't do that thing. You just politely answer to the questions or the things you don't agree to. And you must be professionally dressed, like if you step up in the corporate world. This is the first and the foremost thing. Support your claims as well. You should have a basis for supporting what you are going to say and everything. So there should be a basis for everything you speak, for every word you say. You should welcome counter arguments for sure. This wouldn't narrow your mind, it would widen up your mind, because the thing you are seeing the perspective, someone else might not have the same perspective. So yeah, it's the matter of perspectives, how others tend to see the part, like you miss out. And prepare for the discussion, you should know that what you are going to speak, like the time you are having it. So you should know the things that you are going to speak, because that would be the basis. Like everyone, like if you are speaking, then 14 others are listening to you, so they are noting each and every word that you speak. So that's very important. If it comes to preparation, you should use your words very calmly. It should not be something that others might have problem with it. So yeah, and acknowledge others before speaking. That yes, I acknowledge your fact. The thing you like the most is like when you acknowledge people. So people tend to like these things if you acknowledge between the GDs. And yeah, leadership skills is something I uh, want to focus in, because the thing is, out of the 15 people, you should know that who all are speaking. Like suppose Mr. X isn't speaking for a while, like it's been 10 minutes and the GD is going to end soon. So you should just go up, step up yourself, and just say that my views on the this topic is this. What about you, Mr. X? So this is what panelists are finding in the the interviewee. So yeah, that's the thing, the leadership qualities that you might have in a GD. And Nishika, if you want to add something, or have I missed out any part?
No, I think Radhika, you've covered almost everything. Um, yeah, I mean, these are the things that we should keep in mind while going for a GD. And I don't think I have any other thing to add on.
So Nishika, have you been to GDs, like in a corporate world or something like that? Have you given any interviews?
So I've not, I mean, I have given GDs for like when I was sitting for my college placements. We had a lot of GDs that time. And we also, of course, we cannot forget the orientation course by ICAI. So there they have like 2, 3 sessions just for group discussions. So I think, yeah, I've given a couple of GDs and I've given it in a proper setting, but my GDs were all online. So I haven't given an offline GD because I was doing all this during COVID. So I think, and but of course, there's not a lot of difference when you're talking about your etiquettes and everything. And I think I would be having more don'ts than do's because I'm more like of a cautionary person than just like telling someone. So Mahi, if you could just go to the next slide and we can talk about the don'ts. Yeah. Radhika, why don't you take the lead and I'll chip in.
Okay, definitely. So yeah, don'ts would cover entering the conversation quickly. That definitely means that I've already said that out of the 14 people, you are not the only one who's going to speak. So let other finish what they are speaking. Like let others, like the people who are around you, let them complete their sentences, what they are about to say. Just complete them. Let them complete their sentences and then jump it, not quickly, but with the affirmations, lines, and everything. So don't enter that quickly that yes, this is this. But like these are the things that we don't like in GD. The other people also don't like being interrupted in when they are saying something. And over speaking is definitely a no for every person attending GD, because over speaking means that other might think that you are the only one who is speaking and having no basis, and they won't, like, after a later part you won't be like, they won't find you interesting because you're speaking every now and then and interrupting the ones. So over speaking is also something, a no no, that you should do in a GD. Speak about other topics, like if there is a GD going on a particular topic and you are speaking of something that is out of the syllabus, so that is the time when GD just goes beyond the topic. So you should never speak about the thing that is beyond the topic. For example, we are having a GD and I'm speaking about apple or mango or something like fruits. What if I jump to cars and everything? So that would be like, it won't interest other people, because they are not here to listen about cars, they're here to listen about fruits. So yeah, don't jump into other topics. And the fourth is repeat other participants. Like, already if someone has said something in a very clear basis and you're repeating the same thing, like the same lines, or just going around the flow of that person only, so that thing has already been listened by everyone. So you are not there to repeat what others are saying, you are just there to add on your views to that topic. So never repeat the things that have other participants have already told. Just go and add to that thing. Like I would add to what Nishika said. Yeah, I would add to what Mahi had recently spoken about, this. So yeah, that would be a yes. But repeating what exactly others have said is not a thing. Speak or gesture boldly. Like you should already we have discussed this, that we should speak the thing, like when we are keeping something, our views, our point of views, so we should definitely speak in a very calm manner, in a very polite manner. So the boldly gesture wouldn't work in GD, because that means that you are very arrogant. Like, if you speak boldly and your gesture of your body language, definitely. So these are the things what people tend to analyze it. So don't speak that boldly, just speak in a positive way, and in a firmly manner. Interrupting others is also a don't for a GD, because already we have spoken about this, that we shouldn't interrupt someone's sayings. So yeah, definitely you should not do this in GDs. Being irrelevant or false statistics. So when you put up a fact, a statistical fact, be sure that the numbers you are taking in is true and is relevant in the GD. If you say like there are this million people and you haven't any basis, have any basis in this, so others might question and put a negative perception about you, that you are using the false statistics. There are statistics available in the Google, so you can have a reference of it, that once I read an article of this that was dated this, because date is very necessary, that you are having a survey of which date or which relevant period was that. So using false statistics is definitely a don'ts in a GD, because people would question you. They would cross question you if they have a proper fact, or they would question you that from where these the calculations were derived. So you should have an answer to this. For this it is very like a negative impression if you use a false statistics. Appear insecure is something you are not confident about yourself, like you are very insecure having a discussion with people around you. So you should be confident enough. It is not always that you should speak much, but whatever you are speaking, even if for twice or thrice during the GD, that should have a basis. And insecurity means that if, when you are insecure, it shows up in your face as well. Because if you're insecure, you'll fumble, or you'll have a wrong words pronounced, something like that will happen. So to avoid this, just sit calmly and listen to what others are speaking. Just confidently you just pop up and you just say what you have in your mind, and then just take time to prepare yourself during the GDs and listen to what others are speaking. Share information that isn't valuable. Definitely, if you are speaking something that have irrelevant basis, or that doesn't have any meaning to the topic, so don't share that information. Share the things that are valuable in the discussion, and like listening to which others would definitely have relatable things in their mind, like yeah, she's correct. Like uh, when you say something and someone seconds it, you tend to acknowledge yourself that yes, you were right and you were thinking in the same way that others are thinking. So yeah, you should put your views in such a way that is valuable to the discussions going on, and you should not interrupt. Definitely, if you are not liking it, you just let the other people finish it, and then you start your point that I disagree, yeah, something like that, that I don't agree, but what about if we see the things like this? Yeah, I'm afraid I do not agree to what you say, something like that. So this would acknowledge others that they are saying their perception, but this would also put in the picture that you are disagreeing to what, or you are arguing to the person. So yeah, I guess don'ts are like that only. If anything, anyone has anything to add in the don'ts part?
I think, Radhika, you've covered everything in
I
don'ts
guess I'm
already.
speaking a lot
No,
about
no,
it.
I think you're giving like a very overall viewpoint. But there's just one thing that I wanted to add. Like, I wouldn't classify it as a do's or a don'ts. But there is this one thing that some people don't realize is that anything which is extreme is not ideal. So you shouldn't have an extreme point of view for any topic, right? So if there is a topic which says that should India and Pakistan reconcile their differences, okay?
Okay.
Just don't take like an extreme stance. Just don't be like no and like, or just be like yes. Okay, maybe even if you have some points about no's and some points about yes, try to balance it out, okay? Because what happens is that there is no negative points for it, but sometimes the other person can have a rebuttal and you might not be able to justify your stance that time. Second thing, when you don't have extreme stances, it's easier for you to jump from one stance to another. So you have to understand that it's a group discussion. So for example, all of us are sitting here and we are talking about something, right? Now I feel like मेरा जो point of view है, I have good points about it, but now I'm hearing Radhika say something else, and I feel like, okay, you know what? This makes more sense. And in one way or the other, she has kind of made my other points. Like she's invalidated those points. So how am I supposed to say something which will not have any depth to it? So at this point, I am allowed to change my stance. But if I've already taken a very extreme stance, then it becomes a little difficult, right? So if I'm saying anything, always balance it out. So maybe I am someone who feels like, yes, India and Pakistan should reconcile their differences, right? So if I'm saying 3 points in, in favor of it, just try to give 1 point which is going to balance it out, saying that, but keeping our history, we cannot trust our neighboring country for so and so reasons, right? And or maybe you don't have to say something like this. You might give a problem like, okay, but this is a problem that is still there, and we need to first solve this problem, and then only we can. Okay, it's working now, and then we can go about it. So try to take a stance so that in case in the future you want to flip your stance, you can easily, right? The next thing is what I said, extremes is not a good thing. So a lot of people think that if we are dominating, it's going to be a good, it's going to reflect good. But sometimes dominating reflects poorly because you have to understand that they are also trying to see if you can work in a team. So if I'm someone who is just meh, and I'm not letting others a chance to speak, or I'm being insensitive towards them, or if I'm, speaking over speaking, right? Like, cutting what they're trying to say, that shows that I'm an individual, I'm a lone wolf, and no one is looking for a lone wolf, right? They want a team member, they want an employee, they want a student, right? So make sure that you're not dominating the group. So that means that honestly, I am someone who loves speaking. मुझसे पूरे दिन बात करवा लो, I'm a chatterbox, right? but my 15-30 minutes of a GD is not that time to show, right? So you have to make sure that you're not over speaking, which of course it's Radhika has already said here, and I would just like to reiterate because a lot of people don't understand this. I am someone who might have a lot of content to speak. Okay, you have to deduce it and speak it in the 2-3 turns that you're getting, right? And second kind of people are the extreme version of this who will not speak at all. Listen, if you don't speak in a GD, then you are by default out of the interview process, right? And there are some people who will be like, they speak a line and then they'll be out. No, you can't do that. Even if you are not someone who's speaking a lot, make sure that whenever you are speaking content. So I might be someone who is speaking a lot in this. Okay, so for example, I could be someone who is speaking a lot right now, but कुछ content नहीं है, मैं बस सेम चीज को ही बार बार बोल रही हूँ, राइट? एंड मेरे दिमाग में क्या है कि अरे यार, मैं तो बोला ना, मैं तो 10 मिनट बोली 20 मिनट के जीडी में, आई हैव given good, like I am in the interview process, I am the best person here, but all I have done is just talked about one point. So that doesn't work. And second person on the contrary would be कि उसने एक बार बोला, 1 मिनट के लिए बोला, but they gave like 10 good different distinct points and they will get selected because content also matters. So make sure that you're not extreme of anything. Just try to balance out everything. Even if you're someone who's not able to balance out their lives, try to balance out this GD, okay? So don't be an extreme person. Even if you are someone who feels very strongly about something, don't don't try to come off. Even if you're someone who's like, who feels very strongly about the, maybe there's something about the current government and you're like, I have very strong opinions about it, don't. Because what happens is you have to also understand that jo mera panel hai na, they also have some point of views. So I don't want to say something which is going to offend their point of views. So I want to make sure that ऐसा नहीं हो कि you are a BJP supporter and the other person isn't. So you are all, like, even if you are in a real life, that's completely fine. Try to balance out everything. If you're saying three good things about the government, try to balance it out by saying something negative also. So that in the minds of the panel, they're not just like, यार ये तो मेरे से बिल्कुल ही against चल रहा है, right? And then I think one more thing is that a lot of people don't understand is that whether it's an online or an offline one, you have to conduct yourself very properly. So what I was talking about earlier is your conducting, and which goes in your do's and don'ts list as well. You cannot be, so in like how Radhika said, you cannot be insecure, right? So how do you show that you're insecure? You cannot be fidgeting. You can't have your legs shaking. You cannot slouch, or you cannot just be like in an army position. Stand like sitting so upright that there's like the person is just like, what's up with this guy, right? It's a discussion. So you have to be in this state of mind that okay, this is how I'm talking to my friends just in a more formal way, right? So you have to conduct yourself. If you are cool and chill, that shows that okay, this person can handle pressure, right? Whenever you're conducting yourself, so you guys know this thing that whenever there's this saying that whenever you have a fight and you're having a fight online or something, or you're texting your friend and you're fighting, always remember that how am I going to reflect when they take a screenshot and they send it to other people. So that time when you have this in mind, you are conducting yourself, making sure that okay, how if I write this thing, how will I be reflected if this screenshot goes and other people are viewing it? Would I be in a position of the right position or not? Right. Same way you conduct yourself in a GD. Okay, so you feel that what you think in the way of the panel would think, right? So just imagine if I am going to conduct myself with, I'm going to say a lot of ahs and a lot of oohs and a lot of bhai, or like something like this. How will that reflect in the minds of a panel? Think like that, okay? Before you're speaking anything, just maybe run it through your head once that, okay, is this the right thing to say or is this the right stance to take, right? And the last thing is your content, right? Some of you might not know shit, okay? मेरे को नहीं आता, मैंने करंट अफेयर्स नहीं पढ़ा, मुझे नहीं पता ये क्या टॉपिक है, ठीक है? बट दिस इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ अ जीडी. Even if you don't know shit, 5 other people are there. Let them talk, listen to what they're saying, try to use your brain then, okay, for example, I don't know my stance for India Pakistan reconciliation, मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि पाकिस्तान ने हमारे साथ क्या किया, मैं आई लिव अंडर अ रॉक, इट्स कंप्लीटली फाइन, यू कैन नॉट नो एवरीथिंग, राइट? बट अभी 4 लोग और है ना, सो लेट देम स्पीक, let them 20 मिनट का GD है, let them have 10 minutes, let them talk about things, try to see what point they're saying, you will get some. This is the beauty of the GD, and a smart person will be able to expose and exhaust this thing. That let them speak for 10 minutes. Now you make mental notes of, okay, this is the point that I, okay, makes sense. So for example, this is a GD going on and I don't know shit about it, but I'm hearing Radhika say something, I'm hearing Harshit say something, I'm hearing Ridhima say something, I'm hearing Hemant say something, and I'm just like, okay, I'm having a point of view. 10 minutes suno, uske baad you make a point and you say something, right? So you might not have content, but that doesn't mean that you still can't say stuff. You can listen to others and you can then come up with a point of view, right? Second is, this is not just for GD, this is for your life. And once you're going to be a professional, abhi tak it bodes well for us. We're in school, we might not have a point of view. All we have to do is score good in our exams. But it really will help you if you're updated in your life, if you are good at your current affairs, if you know what is happening in the world, right? So preparing earlier, in the do's, we also had this thing to prepare for your GD. So you should know about the basic topics. Like right now, if anyone talks to me, I should know about the Dani Hindenburg thing. Right? I should know about the Russia-Ukraine war. They do not want someone who is just a bookworm who doesn't know anything beyond their books, right? So GD is a way for them to also assess that if this person is someone who can use their brain or not, if they have analysis, right? um I might know a news, right? I might know, okay, there's a Hindenburg report that is out. But am I someone who can analyze it, right? This is what we are supposed to. This is your stage, and this is where you are going to show to them that I have skills, and this is what is going to set you apart. So make sure that you are keeping up these things in your mind, even if it's an online GD. Make sure that you are respectful. Sometimes what happens is that two people start speaking together, so you maybe, if you feel like you've spoken twice, then you can, maybe just be like, okay, why don't you speak and I'll speak later on. But if you feel like I haven't gotten a chance at all and people are not letting you speak, so don't be a cow and letting others do it, because you have to also have a winning approach. So if you feel like I haven't gotten a chance to speak, then maybe you cut someone else's point and you speak, right? Again, hitting a balance is very important. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोगों की बात काटते रहें, बट ऐसा भी नहीं है कि हम अपने आप को बात करने का अपॉर्चुनिटी ना दें, राइट? So you don't have to be any extreme. So and I think one more thing that people don't realize in a GD is that, again, which comes to your content, is that I would think that I am the smartest person in this room. Okay, so this narcissistic behavior of mine will bite me in the ass in a GD if I feel like, even if I don't know content, मैं सिर्फ words बोलूंगा and I will win. So what a lot of people do is that they would just start a GD and they'll be like, oh yeah, Hemant, do you have anything to say? Or was
We
it
have a
there?
question, I guess.
Okay. You can unmute and speak. And we'll be opening the doubt after this only. So yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah, so a lot of people are very smart, and what they'll do is that in a GD, and I have seen this person, firsthand, that they'll just start the GD and they'll be like, "Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this GD. Today's topic is this," and I will like to open the floor for my fellow colleagues to speak. And the entire GD, they will not say anything, and in the end, they'll be like, "Oh, this was a very nice GD, and I would like to conclude it, and I would like to say that there were excellent points being put up by my colleagues." And these people think that we are so smart. We spoke twice and we have shown our confidence. But listen, you might be smart, but this panel you are in front of now, they are not kids. They are professionals who have done this thing, and you are not the only one who is doing this. They have seen tons of kids do it. So I'm not saying don't do this, but don't only do this. Okay. If you are doing this, maybe also speak, chime in, have some content, say some points in between. Don't think that you can get away with just doing this, right? Because you will not. So make sure, and this is one problem that happens with a lot of kids, that they feel that they are the smartest person in the room. It's good to be confident, but it's stupid to be overconfident, to think that the panel doesn't know, or to think that the other, you have to always realize that if you are in a GD, so are the other people. The criteria of a company or a school is the same for all. So if I am able to break through a barrier and reach a certain position, so have the other four people there. There might be a slight difference in our intellect, in our point of view, in our confidence, in our characteristics, in our skill sets, but not, it's not like one of the person is a Chunky Pandey and other is Shah Rukh Khan, right? There is not that much difference. So one could be Shah Rukh Khan and one could be Salman Khan, but there is not that much difference in us. So don't think that you're the smartest person there, and definitely don't think that you're going to fool the panel, because you can't. And if you are trying to do it, it's very visible, and people can be very, like, I have seen some people who get very obnoxious. At the end of the day, you can be obnoxious, you can try to demean the panel, you can try to demean your colleagues, you can try to demean others, in whatsoever way. It will bite you in the ass later on, because they will not select you. So at the end of the day, you are the one who's going to lose, and they wouldn't care for it. So उस time you can be like, अरे मैं ही हूँ सब कुछ, I was able to, overpower, but no good will ever come out of it. So yeah, I mean, I think that's all. That's all I have to say. Like, I think I feel like a cautionary tale, but I'm just speaking out of like experience, because I have witnessed this myself with others happening, them not being selected because of this. Yeah, anything else, Radhika, that we might
No,
miss
I
out?
guess you have covered the thing I was about to speak. Like, I was in a GD and there was a person who just started and ended, like you said, in a very smartly
Yeah,
way. So he was the one who was out of the GD in the first round itself, because he just started and initiated the conversation, but and the end he concluded by just saying two to 3 points, and in the
yeah,
entire GD he was unable to speak a word. So yeah, that's the thing you should never do in a GD.
never do. And I
Yeah.
think, see, I mean, these tips and tricks we've already said. But there was one thing that Radhika said, and I really wanted to like reiterate. That this thing, that avoid deviating from the topic. So what happens a lot of times is that हम ना भावनाओं में बह जाते हैं. So I will start talking about something and I will deviate from what the question is asked, and this happens so many times. You guys will not even believe. This happens so many times that you will just pick one of the things and you will just continue talking, and the topic was this, and you are now here, and you have to be a little more conscious and active in this thing, that you're not letting this happen. And the second thing that even Radhika said, don't repeat points. So like, a lot of times what happens is, अभी राधिका ने कुछ बोला, सेम चीज मैं बोल रही हूँ, है ना? अभी isn't it annoying for you guys also कि अरे she's already said that points ना, do you have anything new to say, तो तुम बोलो, otherwise don't take up our time. Same thing you use in a GD. Don't repeat points. Either try to give a twist to a point, right? So if maybe Radhika has said something, and I'm trying to give it a twist by giving an example, which is fine. But if I'm paraphrasing what she's doing, that will not bode well, right? Abhi, take your own example. If what I'm doing is basically paraphrasing what she said, na, abhi maine example bhi nahi diya. So you are also saying, na, Arey, we've already heard this. Why is she repeating herself, right? Is that giving any extra points to me? It's not. So try avoiding this thing. Whenever you are doing anything, always think from the point of view of your audience, your participants, your panelists, your when we are writing an exam also, what do we think? That my handwriting should be clear enough for the checker to be able to read it, right? So always think from the point of view of the other person, and don't be repetitive. Don't, I mean, these things we've already discussed, but try to like make an active point that you are not um doing all the things that you're not supposed to, because it's in our nature. So as a person, I'm very aggressive, I'm a very talkative person, so it comes naturally to me to be aggressive. Agar koi kuch bolega na, like if someone doesn't, like if someone says something and I don't agree with it, I will have a scowl on my face, right? It's my nature. I'll just be like, kya bol rahe hain ye? Matlab, what are they saying? You can't do this. You have to be a little more active, and you have to be a little more in control of what you are conducting, how you conduct yourself. So even if you don't agree with someone, don't have a scowl on your face. Don't be like, "Arey, kya bol diya isne?" No. Maybe wait for your chance. Try to refute it. Don't be personal. Like, don't get personalized. Don't be like, "अरे राधिका ने ये जो point बोला था ना, ये गलत है." Don't do that. Generalize it and say that, I believe that even though this is a thing, I believe that this would have been a better way of going forward. So I mean that's all from my side. If there is any question from the participants or anything that anyone wants to ask, they can feel free to unmute yourself or drop in a question in the chat box. Hanji Khushi.
I wanted to ask, like, if we don't agree with other person's point of view, so can we say, like, I respect your opinion, but I disagree with you, and I would like to give my opinion on that. Like, can we say like that?
Okay, so you can say it, but a more like an idealistic way of going forward would be that like don't get personalized with them, just start your point of view that what I believe is this, that you can easily see that although what my colleague or my fellow participant here has said makes sense, I believe that this is the other side of the coin. Okay, like don't try to say I'm refuting their point, because then it becomes a little aggressive and then the other person might also get offended कि अरे इसने मेरे को refute कैसे किया. So avoid using those words. Just you can say that, but I am like, I have a different point of view, or I would like to bring forth a different point of view. You can say like maybe, design it in a better way. Radhika, anything you?
Thank you. And
No, very well said that we should not jump quickly. Just start by I'm afraid I do not agree, or what Nishika said, that like this will have a balance in your conversation, and this would not show that you're completely disagreeing with what the other person has said.
Exactly. Kushi, you were saying something.
yeah, my second question was like, should we maintain the eye contact with other participants of the GD or to the panel, like,
Okay,
whom?
I'll tell you how this goes. So, not with the panel. You're not supposed to keep any touch with the panel. So, if I'm the speaker, I will look at everyone and speak. So, जब मैं बोल रही हूँ, I will look at everyone and I will speak. But when I'm the listener, I will look at only the speaker. ठीक है? This is the normal way of conducting yourself. तो जब मैं बात करती हूँ, even if you're with your friends, खुशी, for example, you're with your friends, and you're telling a story. So how will you tell a story? You will look at all your friends now, and you will be telling a story. But if a friend of yours is talking about something, so you look at them, right? You don't look at the passerbys. ना तो panel को तो कभी देखना ही नहीं है. हाँ, this also brings very good question, which happens a lot of times. Is people don't realize this, is that you are not supposed to address to the panel. So a lot of people would do this, that dear sir, dear ma'am, I am afraid I don't agree with it. No, no, no. It's a discussion. They are not there. They are the invisible. They are the CCTV cameras there. Okay. So you can't refer to them. So a lot of people also do this thing that they would just go like, ma'am, can I have 2 more minutes? No, you can't talk to them that time, right? You talk to the group. That's what that is how it shows. So again, having a logic behind everything helps. So you have to understand why you can't address to the panel, because right now they're trying to see if you can work in a group. But अभी तुम सोचो कि तुम अपनी पार्टी में हो एंड यू आर कॉन्स्टेंटली कॉलिंग योर मम्मा कि मम्मी मैगी कैसे बनाते हैं. How does it reflect that you can't actually operate on your own, right? It's the same thing. So if you're in a group and at every point of view you're just looking at a panel for help or talking to them while you're supposed to work in a group, that shows that you cannot actually conduct yourself in a group. You are seeking help from someone who's in a higher position than you are. So don't address to the panel. And when you are talking, you look at the group. When you are listening, you look at the speaker. As a thumb rule, like there's no other two side to this. Anyone else who has a question? Trending topics. Okay, yeah. I mean, right now I would say the Adani Hindenburg is very okay. Again, in this we have two things. One second, Simran. Let me just go to Megha's question and then I'll come to you. There are two types of topics that you will get. One is abstract topics. So those there is endless list. So abstract would be like confidence is the key, or honesty is still the best policy. तो ये abstract topic है, right? इसमें you have no current affairs which is enrolled here. So some topics would be like change is inevitable but is a constant. Okay. Maybe you can say that honesty is the best policy, or something like there is no there is only white and black. these are abstract topics. Right now, how do you go about an abstract topic is that you can take a stand that, honesty is the best policy. You can say that, hey, or you can say, nahi hai. You use examples, you try to give some relevant thing that, you can say that, आजकल के दिन में, you can't be honest about everything, or you can just be like, yeah, I feel like um, you should be honest about everything. If they say that, black and white, you can say, no, there is not always extremes to everything. There is always a gray. There is thing has an exception. So this is how you go ahead and try to give a lot of examples in your GD. Your second type of topic is your current affairs topic. So right now, if I was conducting, and if time permits and you all volunteer, we can have a 10 minutes GD also right now. So if I'm to give a GD at this point, I would be talking about maybe the Russia-Ukraine war, or the G20 summit, or India-Pakistan relations, India-China relations, India-Taiwan relation. Maybe I could talk about what is happening in US-China right now. I can talk about what else is going on. We can also, I don't think they will get that specific, but they might, they can talk about the one road, the OBO initiative by the BRI initiative by China, right? So they can ask you stuff about this, which is general awareness and general knowledge. Yeah, GPT, yeah. And you can also have, maybe they can talk about anything which is current affairs, to be very honest, like which is going on right now, and which is like a discussion wala point. So they will not ask you about the elections that happened in like Nagaland and Tripura right now. No, no, not that. They're not talking about news headlines. They're talking about things that will have two sides of it. So yeah, maybe stories that are happening. You can, you can look at that.
Yeah, they will definitely take up a topic to which you have yes and a no, a
Yeah.
balanced way. They won't say that yes, sun rises in the east, you don't have any point to disagree in this thing. So they
Yeah.
would definitely take a topic that would have two perceptions to it, and you should also balance that, already discussed, that we should have a balanced view on like if you have the do's and you don't have. So there would be a balanced topic definitely.
One thing I wanted to say is that, so even though Radhika said that, the sun rises in the east, but honestly, they can give it as an abstract topic. But it wouldn't actually mean that you're saying yes or no to sun rising to east. It could be that you can say that, when you say the sun rises from east, it means that there are some things that cannot be changed. That, maybe then you can talk about rules and regulations. You can talk about that killing someone is something which is a no, which is an offense. There is no two sides to it. Maybe um, violating someone's you know abusing or violating or domestic abuse, these are something which is set in stone. So in these kind of topics, abstract topics, there is no yes or no. There is, you have to find
There's a
the
depth in every like these type of topics. There's a depth.
yeah,
So
there's a depth,
yeah.
and you just have to find it. You just have to, like, maybe uh, have a point of view, and you can talk about it. So try to think beyond the box. Like, ऐसे उस पर स्टक मत हो जाना कि सन राइजेस फ्रॉम द ईस्ट, तो मैं साइंस की बात करने लग जाऊं, सोलर
हाँ,
सिस्टम
मतलब
की
वो
बात.
लिटरल मीनिंग में अपने को नहीं जाना है.
हाँ,
डोंट गो इन द
exactly.
लिटरल मीनिंग.
Yeah. So try to have some creativity there in your abstract topics. Yeah. Simran, you had a doubt.
Yes. So, if we have any person who is very much overpowering during the GD that we are having, how to deal with it? Because that becomes, I've had three experiences of GD in ISEC. So, two were very good, wherein all of them were liberal and we were able to speak. But the third time, it was one person overpowering the entire conversation. So, how to go about it so that your point is put forward there?
Radhika, you want to take, or should I?
You can take this, Nishika. I'd add on if you say.
Okay. So first thing is that, okay, recently even I gave this, I was in a group interview, and there was this one guy who was overpowering a lot. He was speaking a lot. But I was very relaxed because in my head I knew that the panel is viewing them the way I'm viewing it, that he's not giving an opportunity for others to speak. Right. So don't worry about it too much. But of course you have to put forth your topic. So as I said earlier, you can be a little besharam that time. If someone is talking too much and not letting you speak, you can interrupt them, and you can say ki, um I would like to put my viewpoints forward, or you can just be like, you can, like, for example, if I feel like Radhika is speaking too much, I can be like, Radhika, if you don't mind, I would like to add some points. Um, मुंह पर बोल सकते हो, like you can be, then if they are being someone who is very dominating and you feel like I haven't gotten a chance to speak, just be a little, just this, and don't be rude, but you can, because this shows that you are someone who can stand up for themselves. So you can just be like, Radhika, if you don't mind, I would also like to add some points, or you can just be like that, to anyone. Like, I think that's the best way for what I would be doing, right? Anything else, Radhika, you think that we can
No,
do?
that's the thing. Like, just put your points humbly so that other people, like, because what you are thinking that he or she is overpowering the conversation, the same thing others are also thinking, and the same thing the panelist is also thinking. So if you try to interrupt them, so they would be you would be in a win-win situation because they are also trying to do the same.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah,
like, for example, right now Radhika is speaking, so I can be like, excuse me, Radhika, if you don't mind, I would also like to put up some points. Beach mein kaat do baat.
exactly.
Even if they don't stop na, they will know that you are supposed to speak next. And at least the panel would know that the person is not being considerate enough to let you speak. But don't do this unless and until it's very out there and very evident that the other person is not letting others to speak, because otherwise it's very rude.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Anyone else who has a doubt?
Long back, Hemant raised his hand, and
Yeah, Hemant, do you want to add on something? I'm pretty sure you don't have a doubt. You must have something to share with us.
Hi all. Um, this is Hemant. So I can't open my video. I am having fever. I think
Okay.
Radhika and Nishika has covered mostly all the parts which is necessary to crack HGD. So yes, I mean to crack a JD, one should not. If one is an extrovert or one is an introvert, they should maintain an ambivert position. Okay, you should not speak much or you should not speak very less. So I think they have covered all the points. But one more thing is, if someone is no idea or during the whole conversation one has not spoken about the topic, what they can do is, like, one can listen to other and summarize the topic, and he or she can give the conclusion of the topic. Okay, so not pointing out any individual, he can just give his or her views about the topic. So, and one more thing is, like, yes, about the topics Nishika has mentioned that it can be a statistical, the topics can be generalized point, or it can be statisticals, like say economics, why Indian economy is going compared to China's economy. So yeah, this is the GD topic which I got as per my experience while I was attending GD of while attending interview of Barclays. Okay, this was my first GD. Okay, first and last. Okay, so yeah, which luckily I cracked it. So I just it was a 15 minutes GT, 15 to 20 minutes, and in the pool there is 30, 15 to, I guess, 15 to 20 candidates were there. So the question is, the point is, why the Indian economy is growing compared to Chinese economy. So here one should, I was not having any idea for the statistical. So we should, if we try to throw the exact number, like how much import is there, what is the exact number of export India is doing, what are the countries India is doing export. So I have just given a generalist idea for, like, so one idea I got is, like, in China, its economy is more about export. If you looked at everything, India is importing from China. So one thing I told, that China's economy is driven by export oriented. Okay, it's like if other countries in the world they stop procuring from China, their economy is going to hamper. Okay, whereas Indian economy is import oriented. So we are maximum product we are importing. So that is the thing. If India stop importing from China, their economy is going to hamper. So this kind of points I have thrown there, and luckily I got selected. So it's all about not giving exact data. So you should summarize the things, and we can relate to the GD, and we can present ourselves. So that's all about.
Thanks for sharing, Hemant. Anyone else who has any other doubts? So we can have a discussion. Okay. I'm going to just assume that Radhika and I were such good speakers that किसी को doubt ही नहीं आया. But yeah, I mean, if there are no other doubts, then we can maybe wrap up the session then, Radhika.
Yeah, definitely, Nishika.
Because I think it's been like it's more than an hour, so we can't conduct a mock. But in case anyone wants us to conduct a GD mock, then they can put it on the group, and we can have a separate session for GD mocks. We can maybe have a couple of GDs, and then that way you guys would know how to conduct yourself in a GD, and we can
Yeah,
give
we
a
can have online GDs with the people who are interested. And we
exactly.
have a
I mean,
panel.
I've given all my GDs online, so I only know how to do that online.
I've given all offline. That was college placement. So yeah.
Okay, so great. So maybe yeah, I mean, in case any one of you is interested, so you can put it on any of the groups that you're a part of on our WhatsApp, and we can maybe have a couple of more people, and then we can have a GD that time. And in case anyone has any other doubts, they can stay back. Otherwise, thanks a lot for joining. Mahi, you can take over.
Thank you so much, speakers, for today's informative and interactive session. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. As I mentioned earlier, you can avail our after services such as CV reviewing, LinkedIn reviewing, and access to our ebooks by dropping in a message, or you can fill the form and go through our website for further details. And that's it. That's it for today's session. Thank you so much for joining. And we can conclude the meeting now.